over the years, pretty much since he came out, there's always been conversation about Kendrick, what his best project is, yeah? And if you ask most people, I would say on average, most people will probably say Good Kid Maad City. I've always been one of them people where I'm like, I think Good Kid Maad City is good, but this guy's got so much other good material that for me to just automatically call that the best, I think it is a bit short-sighted. For me personally, the one I go back to the most, crazily enough, is actually Section 80. Some people call that a mixtape, some people call it his first album. I call it a mixtape, but for me, that's probably his best work. It's the most enjoyable listen, but other people won't agree with that. To Remember Butterfly as well, that's something I go back to a lot. I would say that I can't listen to it on shuffle and take a random song out and listen to it, but as a whole, I enjoy that album a lot, right? I don't go back to Good Kid Maad City as much. I only really go back to Money Trees and Don't Kill My Vibe, really. But I listened to the album again today, and I just want to kind of just break it down, right? Because the album is amazing. It's a bona fide classic. There's a few things that I think could be improved, but the album is crazy. The fact that I don't even think it's his best just shows how good this guy is. But even when you listen to the album, you got the intro, Shireen's daughter. This guy's in 10th grade. I think if you're in 10th grade, that means you're probably about 16 years old. So he takes his mom's van, the caravan that's on the front cover, goes to try and see Shireen. He's going through that. He's driving there. He's got no money. Then there's a skit at the end where he bumps into some people with hoodies and all that. And then they're going to stop him, probably ask him questions, because I'm sure that's what happens in Compton. So he's talking about that, and then there's a skit with his mum and his dad talking. His mum needs the van to go to an appointment. His dad wants him to get Domino's, and then his dad's like, yo, you're killing my vibe. I think that's a great intro. He set things out well. I think if you don't know Kendrick, that just gave you a bit of a glimpse of what he was doing when he was younger, right? And it gives you a picture of Compton a bit as well. Going into the second song, timeless song, Don't Kill My Vibe. The reason I like this song so much is that it's funny. Right now, I'm in the greenery right now. You can just see it, right? I'm in the greenery right now. I've always liked the greenery, but in that video, he's outside. I'm not sure where he is. Amazing weather in a field. He's wearing all white as well. There's a scene with him in the church. I think he just looks really pure, amazing. I've seen a video of him. He was in the studio with Dre when he was making the song, and Andre 3000 as well. And I'm just seeing it, and I'm just like, that song is so timeless to me, so amazing, amazing chorus. What's crazy is that Lady Gaga was meant to be on the chorus, but they ended up actually going with Kendrick because it just sounded more pure. And I fully agree with that as well. The Lady Gaga version's good, the Emily Sandé version's good as well, but Kendrick absolutely killed that. So I support the fact that they stayed authentic, because imagine first album, 2012, Lady Gaga, that could have been a #1 hit, but they were just like, nah, let's keep this authentic. Kendrick absolutely killed that. So Kendrick was 2 for 2 now at this point. Third song on the album now, Backseat Freestyle. I remember when I first heard Backseat Freestyle, and when I looked at the conversations, it was kind of just like, yo, they were surprised that this is a Kendrick Lamar single. Because looking at Section 80, songs like ADHD, High Power, Hold Up, Backseat Freestyle seems pretty aggressive the way he's rapping. He's rapping about my D getting as big as the Eiffel Tower. I'm going to F the world for 72 hours. He's rapping in a weird way, like this for a single, this is a bit crazy. This isn't the normal conscious Kendrick Lamar. But as you actually go into the album with a skit on Don't Kill My Vibe, saying, yo, let's go and get your beat tapes, let's do some freestyles, it fits in with the whole idea. And that ended up actually being one of Taylor Swift's favorite songs as well. So at this point, Kendrick is 3 for 3. That song as well at the shows jumps off, amazing beat. So Kendrick's 3 for 3, amazing, right? Then you get the next song. I think this is one of Kendrick's most important songs. I like to talk about this even in terms of real life as well. The Art of Peer Pressure. I think the reason why this song is so important is that everyone in life can relate to it. He's saying that, yo, when I'm with the basically, I'm normally a good guy. I'm normally a good civilian. But when I'm with the homies, I act different. Normally, I don't even smoke, but I've got the blunt in my mouth when I'm with the homies. And he's kind of just, they're doing a house robbery as well. And it's just crazy. I think that a lot of people succumb to peer pressure. And he kind of just broke down when he was young. I'm sure he acts a certain way when he's around his parents and his family, but around his friends, he just gets into whatever they're getting into, right? So they end up doing a house robbery. Someone's in the house. They get out of the house and they're driving home. The police sirens start going. They keep doing lefts and rights. Eventually they get out. They make it safe. And then they're talking about, they were listening to Jeezy's first album as well. And I just think it's just amazing, the storytelling in that song. It reminded me of, obviously this came out before YG, My Crazy Life, right? But it kind of reminded me of that when they did Meet the Flockers, when YG did the house invasion as well, right? So now Kendrick's 4 for 4. Amazing song, amazing content. Now comes to track 5. Now this song is one of the greatest songs I've heard of all time. probably a top 5 song of all time, if not top 10. I think objectively this is going to be Kendrick's best song as well. If you go on the streaming sites, I'm sure this will be in his top 5 songs. Money Trees. In hindsight, I can't believe this wasn't a single. But at the same time, I'm happy that they kept it on the album, because it's like, if you're hearing that for the first time, that song is an absolute banger. I listened to the sample of that Beach House, Silver House. I think it's called Silver Soul. I think it's called Beach House or something like that. The sample on that song is crazy. The chorus, Halle Berry or Hallelujah, the Kendrick verses, and then J-Rock has the best feature verse of all time for me. That's a top 5 feature verse of all time. I don't know if this is true. This is something that I heard, right? I remember a few years ago, I had seen a lot of Kendrick reference tracks that leaked, but not reference tracks as in someone else had done references for him. No, he had done references for Baby Keem. He had done references for Schoolboy Q, I think, on a couple songs, and J-Rock. Even the song King's Dead, he did J-Rock's verse, right? I heard apparently that the guy that leaked this also had a reference track of Kendrick doing the J-Rock verse for Money Trees. Now, if this is true, then Kendrick's got to be the greatest of all time. Because I'm thinking J-Rock's on the greatest feature of all time. If Kendrick actually did that as a reference, then Kendrick's the greatest, man, because that feature's crazy. Like, imagine rock up in them projects where them people pick your pockets. Santa Claus don't miss them stockings. Like, amazing. Like, I can't even believe that. So, 5 for 5 now. Kendrick is damn near halfway near a classic album. He's got the foundations right. Cool. Now, the next song is the one song which I want to say it lets the album down. I'm sure people like the song Poetic Justice. For me, I'm not a big fan of it. I think that it kind of slows down the tempo of the project. Him and Drake together on a song, it's decent. It's not bad. They had a video for it. It was a single. I'll say it's a good song. I'll say it's a 7 out of 10 song. But that's probably my first maybe gripe of the album. You can take that out of the album. But still, it's good. Does it really follow the narrative of the album? Not really. But still solid. Classic song, right? Cool. Now the next 2 songs are the kind of the crux of the album. You got Good Kid track 7, then you got Mad City track 8. Good Kid, the song Good Kid. I think you got Pharrell on the chorus. He's just telling a story pretty much of just his life. Compton, Rosecrans. I think it's amazing beat. I think Pharrell does amazing on that hook as well. I like that song as well. I don't think that it gets enough love. But I think that the good thing about that song is that, for me, that's part 1. Then part 2 is track 8, Mad City. Now, when it comes to the show, I've never gone to a Kendrick show, but if you watch the videos, Mad City is going to be a fan favorite. Like, he did it at the first Super Bowl he did with Dre, 50 Cent, Snoop, and all them. I wish he did it at his most recent Super Bowl. Mad City is one of the biggest turn-up songs. Like, the way he comes in, Apparels and Crips, oh, got along. Like, the writing on that song is amazing. The beat absolutely slaps. And I like the fact that he's got MC8 on the second part of the song. He wrote that part for MC8. He's just doing his thing on that verse. Kendrick as well, he's kind of talking about his past life, talking about how he used to be a security guard. He got fired from that job because he orchestrated a break-in, talking about his life in Compton as a child, man. That song's amazing. It gives you more of the story. So by track 8, I'm like, I've got a good glimpse of who Kendrick is. I've got a good glimpse of Compton as well as a whole, and just understanding what shaped him. So 8 tracks in, I'm like, yo, this is damn near a flawless album. Poetic Justice was the only song which was 7 out of 10, but still good, right? Now the next song, you go into the single, Swimming Pools. That came out before the album. That was Kendrick's big hit. Top 20 hit. Amazing. But the reason why I think a lot of people mess with Kendrick, the reason I like Kendrick so much, is that you see how people say the phrase medicine in the candy. That's what Swimming Pools was. Because you got a song, you're thinking he's talking about, yo, just drinking alcohol, turning up. And it is a turn-up song. But if you actually think about it, he's talking about how everyone around him is drinking, but he's talking about what the alcohol does for you. And he's kind of saying, having a conversation with his conscience as well, talking about hoping you're, how does it go? I'm your conscience. If you do not hear me, then you will be history, Kendrick. And he's just kind of talking about, Granddaddy had the golden flask, backstroke every day in Chicago. Some people like the way it feels. Some people like to kill their sorrow. I resonated with that song a lot because I don't drink alcohol, right? And it makes me think like, oh, you don't need to drink alcohol or anything to have fun. Kendrick doesn't drink alcohol either. At that point, maybe he does now that he's got success, I'm not really sure. But at that time, he didn't really drink. He didn't smoke as well. So I thought he was someone good to kind of look up to. And I like the fact that he had the conversation with his conscious. And he even had that verse at the end as well. Amazing music video, good as well. I was like, yo, Kendrick is a guy I can advocate for. Medicine in the Candy, amazing, right? Cool. Now you got 9 songs. This guy's got a great album, damn near classic. Then you go to pretty much the most important song on the album. And ironically, yeah, I feel like this is where the album probably could have ended. This is the centerpiece of the album, even though it's near the end. 10 or 11 minute song, Sing About Me / I'm Dying of Thirst. Now, with that song, the reason why I feel like the album could have ended here was because I thought he gave me the short movie. 10 out of 10. He explained everything. He talked about going back to Section 80 as well, where you've got Keisha's song. The first verse is talking about his friend that got killed, holding him, watching him take his last breath. Then that third verse, I feel like he kind of just summarizes the current mindset and 2012 and just summarizes life very well in society. So when I go back to that song, the reason I like that song as well is that you got 3 verses, right? So if I go back to that first verse, right, he's talking about his friend. I guess he was with his friend and his friend's brother, right? They get in a shootout, his friend gets killed. So Kendrick now is holding his brother in his arms, holding his friend in his arms pretty much, seeing him take his last breath. And in the song, it's like he's having a conversation with that friend. And then the friend is like, yo, listen, I can see what you're doing through music. I'm going on a different path. I'm not sure if I'm going to be here for a long time. So if I die before your album drops, so make sure you kind of sing about me, right? And it's so powerful because at the end of that verse, you hear that he's like, yo, if I die before my album drops, and then he ends up getting shot, and then there's silence. And it's just like, whoa, that's such an impactful song, the way he did that. It was so clever. And that was actually a real experience. I've seen Kendrick talk about that in an interview as well, which is crazy traumatic, right? So that's the first verse, right? Then you got the second verse, who basically you're having a conversation. It's a conversation. So we had Keisha, who was a prostitute in Section 80 who got killed. Now in this verse is Keisha's sister who's talking to Kendrick, saying that, yo, Kendrick shouldn't have outed her, putting out a song about her, saying that she's gone down the same route as her sister Keisha. I'm never going to fade away. Like, what she did wasn't wrong and all that. And it's crazy while Keisha's sister is saying, yo, I'm never going to fade away and all this kind of stuff. And as the verse goes on, the vocals start fading away. So it's kind of just like, right, it was super symbolic, kind of how that went. And I'm just like, right, I've never heard a song like this. So he's done 2 perspectives now. Then he goes to the third verse, kind of just talking about him, talking about, yo, is it worth it? Did I put enough work in? He's kind of questioning his life, questioning his mortality and all this kind of stuff, just summarizing things. And after I heard that, I was just like, yo, this song is so powerful. I feel like the album could end here. He's given me the short movie of Compton. This is a bona fide classic album. He just took me through pretty much a day in the life of someone in Compton, of a good kid in a mad city. So I'm thinking the album could end there. So that finishes now. Then, unfortunately, after that song now, so that song pretty much ends. And then it goes to a skit with Kendrick's friend's brother, his brother just got shot, right? So these guys are super stressed now. They end up walking and running and they bump into a lady, right? This lady ends up seeing them by chance. And apparently this is a true story. This lady ends up seeing them by chance and ends up doing a prayer for them, saying that, yo, listen, if you guys are thirsty, you're dying of thirst, let's kind of do a prayer with me. And then they end up doing the dying of prayer verse, like a prayer. And it was just powerful. The fact that that was a true story as well. Quite a long-winded song, 11 minutes. The reason I think the album should have ended there was because in 2016, to go into the future, right, I remember J. Cole released For Your Eyes Only album. That album was 10 songs. It ended with For Your Eyes Only, 10-minute track. That ended out the album, well, classic song. I think that this could have ended 10 songs, classic as well, with an 11-minute song. But cool, I'd heard enough. I think that's amazing, right? Cool. Now you get 2 more songs in the album, right? Now, I don't have any issues with these 2 songs. You've got a song called Real, you've got a song called Compton. The only issue I've got with those songs is that I guess they're kind of uplifting, which is good. But because Sing About Me was so impactful, I felt that could have ended the album. But you've got Real with Anna Wise, she's singing. I think it's pretty good. It's quite amazing, right? Good. Which I like. I like that song. But it's quite forgettable maybe in comparison to the other songs. But cool, it's good. And then you've got Compton, where you got Dre. Obviously, Dre had signed Kendrick, so I think having him on the album is great. I'm sure Kendrick wrote that verse as well. You can kind of hear from the writing, but cool. That song's good. I think it's uplifting as well. Kendrick loves Compton, so I think that having that to end the album, I understand why he did it. I do think that it is powerful, so I think it is good that he ended the album with that song. But in hindsight, maybe he could have left those two out. And what I think is that if you actually listen to the deluxe version of this project, the songs on the deluxe version are so good. I think he could have traded out Poetic Justice, Real, and Compton, and he could have put some of these deluxe songs. You got the Don't Kill My Vibe remix with Jay-Z, amazing, classic song. Jay-Z's verse was a 9 out of 10. Kendrick got him on that last verse, right? And on YouTube, if you look at the cover art for that song, it's Kobe Bryant and it's Michael Jordan. So I felt like that song was like the passing of the torch, like Jay passing the torch to Kendrick. That's kind of how I felt it was, right? And then there's a song called Black Boy Fly, amazing song where Kendrick's got these verses breaking down the black guys, the black people in Compton that he looked up to, Aaron Afalo, The Game, I think someone else as well, I can't really remember, but he's just breaking down having those people to look up to in Compton. Got a song with Mary J. Blige, Now or Never, amazing song with the band as well, really good chorus from Mary J. Blige. Got The Recipe with Dre as well, which I think is actually better than the Compton song. So listening to all of them songs, I'm like, yo, that is absolutely classic. Like pretty much every song on that album was damn near perfection. So for me to probably say that that album is not Kendrick's best shows how good his discography is. I do think that, I don't know if I'll say Section 80 is better, but I prefer listening to it. To Remember Butterfly for me is probably the most flawless album though. He's got his best rapping on there. Songs like How Much a Dollar Cost, Hood Politics, The Black of the Berry, All Right. So I think I gotta give that #1, man. But Good Kid Maad City, classic album, absolutely amazing. I'm not gonna fault anyone for saying this is best, but man, it's oh man, Money Trees is just crazy, man. Classic work.